In the interest of time, I'm going to let Libby talk first, because if anybody should have the floor, it should be Libby. Libby is a mom who lives at Amethyst Place, and she is here to tell you her story.
Hello everyone, my name is Libby, and I am a grateful recovering addict. I grew up in Trenton, Missouri with my mother, my father, my half-brother Paul, and my younger brother Matt. When I was 5, my parents got divorced. My brother Matt and I went to live with my mother, who was an alcoholic. My father remarried, and I would go visit him on weekends, and when I was about 6, my stepmother's son Jeremy began molesting me. I always begged my dad to take me home when it got dark, because I knew that was when Jeremy, I called him the monster, would come into my bedroom. Living with my mom was another nightmare. The first time I realized something was wrong with her was when I woke up early one morning and she wasn't there. I was 8 and my brother was 5. We went to school and I remember worrying the whole day whether she would be home when I got there or if we would be alone again. When we got home, my mom was there, passed out. We had to fend for ourselves for whatever we wanted to eat or drink. That was when I became aware of her all-night binges. I spent the next few years calling police stations and hospitals to see if she was there. My mother was furious when she found out about the calls. When I was in 5th grade, Jeremy, the monster, stabbed my father, but my father refused to press charges. A couple of months later, Jeremy murdered a man. I was terrified to go anywhere, afraid that he would find me and kill me. When he was arrested and sent to prison, I was relieved because I knew he couldn't molest me anymore. During this time, we moved in with my mother's boyfriend, who was also an alcoholic. My brother and I slept in the storage room with a leaky roof. JC beat my mother all the time. She was always bloodied and bruised, and sometimes she needed stitches. I managed to remain on the honor roll. When I was in 6th grade, my mom began using meth, so I lived with my father, my grandmother, and finally with my aunt. It was then that I started smoking pot. I began going back to my mom's house because there weren't any rules there. My mother partied all the time, and our home was the center of drinking and drugging. My mother had a new boyfriend, another alcoholic, and once again we packed up and moved. By we, I mean me, because my mother was in jail, so I was in charge of moving the family. At 16, in a new town and a new school, I was isolated and alone. I dropped out of school. By that time, I was smoking pot morning, noon, and night. One evening, I was babysitting for a woman, and she offered to pay me with meth. My boyfriend and I tried it out for fun. We began buying and snorting meth on a regular basis. At 17, I found out I was pregnant, so I completely stopped using drugs. That same week, my older half-brother committed suicide. He shot himself in the head. But I went on to college and completed my first semester, and then on December 17, 2002, the best day of my life, my son Logan was born. I moved into college housing and was working, going to school full-time, and studying and taking care of my son. The only way I could manage the demands on my schedule was to use meth. I could stay awake for a week or 2 at a time. Eventually, my drug use caught up with me, and I was kicked out of school and housing. I had to move back in with my mom because there was no place for us to go. At this time of my life, my father committed suicide. Soon after that, I got a job at Casey's and was promoted to assistant manager. I met my new boyfriend, who was a meth dealer, and he moved in with us and manufactured meth and sold it out of my apartment. I had an endless free supply, every addict's dream. I got a glimpse into the insane life of addiction. The violent, erratic behavior became part of my day-to-day living. I paid babysitters and meth to watch my son and was turned into child protection, but later the charges were dropped. I decided to quit my job and move back to Trenton because I knew my life was spinning out of control, and I was terrified for my son. I got a house and began to hang out with other addicts, and started to shoot up pills like the rest of my friends. Within 2 months, I was fully addicted to opiates and would be in physical withdrawal if I didn't have them regularly. At one point, I checked myself into inpatient and went through severe withdrawals and had to be hospitalized for my symptoms. I got out after 21 days and immediately got high. My addiction was worse than before. When the pill supply in Trenton got tight, we went to the city, Kansas City, and started buying heroin and shooting it up. If I couldn't find pills in Trenton or heroin in Kansas City, I would shoot up meth to keep from having withdrawals. The drugs turned me into a monster. I stole from people, I lied, and I manipulated. I lived to get high and got high to live. I got involved with people who were trying to hurt me, and I knew I had to get away or I would soon be dead. My son turned 9, and at his 9th birthday party, I realized that in the same amount of time, he would be gone, and if I wanted him to live, to be a productive member of society, how would I ever teach him to do what I didn't know how to do myself? I sat up all night that night and decided that I had to get help. The next morning, I went to a substance abuse treatment center, and I was admitted that day. After 33 days in treatment, I knew I had to leave Trenton forever because I would always be the lying, thieving junkie to the people that knew me there. So I came to Kansas City, and it was accepted into Angels of Mercy. I met another recovering addict who told me about Amethyst Place. My goal was to get stable housing and to get my son back from my mother. I went to outpatient treatment and was referred to Amethyst Place, where I was accepted in October of 2012. My son moved in with me in December, and we celebrated Christmas together, our first sober Christmas. At Amethyst Place, I was given a beautifully furnished apartment. They helped me get a great job, 2 mentors, and they helped me get extensive dental work done. I recently had to have 15 teeth pulled because of my prior drug use. But today, I celebrate 2 years and 11 months clean time, the longest in my life. My son Logan is in the 6th grade and an A and B student who excels in reading, spelling, and math. This has been a long journey for me and my son, and I take full responsibility for all of my actions. In recovery, I have learned I have to be accountable for all of my behaviors. But my goal is to help you understand the underlying causes of addiction in hopes that you might give an addict a second chance. Every day, I thank God I'm not where I used to be. Today, I am financially responsible, I pay taxes, I'm a more responsible and loving parent, a hardworking community volunteer, and I have learned how to set healthy boundaries and form healthy relationships. Amethyst Place has helped shape me into the person I am today, and for that, I am truly grateful.
And we are requesting $13,230 for help in renovating our child care center in order to present the programming to the parents that we do, the AA groups, the NA groups, the mentoring groups, all the programs that we have at Amethyst Place. We have to provide child care, and as I'm sure that Max can tell you from the visit down there, our child care center is not very safe, and it's not very nice for children. And so we're working with some TIF money from the city of Kansas City, Missouri, and we are working with the Centurions, but we still need some more financial assistance to finish the child care center. It's a basement. There was a lot of mold in it. As a matter of fact, one of the site visit people said, I have to get out of here, I have asthma, and we do have kids with asthma. So we're drying it out, and we've gotten some help with that, but we're still needing assistance finishing the child care center, and our play therapist wants to put some play therapy things down there. We have 38 moms, 64 children who live on property, and then we have some children, 5 or 6, that we're trying to reunify who are in a Division of Family Service custody. So we see a lot of kids there, and we need a safe place for them to play, because the kids that come to us have had a lot of trauma in their lives too. So.
Any questions?
You guys rock.
Thank you. You guys have a tough season.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of great people here, so. Well, we're at 27th and Truce, so please come and see us. I'll be glad if you're tour. Yes.
What is the total project cost?
We have TIF money, and we have, excuse me, that means I can't talk anymore. I was waiting for somebody to go on me there. We have water that was coming in the basement, and so there was a different amount of money for that. And then the Centurions are doing a lot of sweat equity. They're doing a lot of the labor there, and I can't tell you the exact total, because basically we're kind of doing it as we have the funds to do it. But the flooring is the thing that is going to be essential to this. Right now we just have a concrete floor down there, and it's not very nice. So.
And does this get it all the way done?
Yes, that will finish it, and then buy a limited number of furnishings for it. Yes.
How many kids do you serve?
We have I think we have 64 on property, and then we have some that are in the Division of Family Services custody that are reunifying with their mothers. So I think it's close to 70 on any given day. It seems like 100.
I wasn't in here for the whole speech, I apologize. Do you have a therapist on board?
Yes, we do.
If
Yes.
you need another one.
All right, yes, we do. We need a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much.